Okay, swimming, swimming and triathlon. I'm going to talk a little bit before I get into the workouts. This first video. We're going to talk about how to implement it and schedule it into your training. How often should you do it? Um, and a little bit on how to execute any given session that you do. Really, what this comes down to for all of our training as a multi-sport athlete is time management, right? And with swimming, this comes into play a lot. The ROI on swimming is low. Lots of time training, practicing, getting better and better and better, and you get 90 seconds faster in an Ironman. You start to wonder, like, should I even bother with doing this? And if you look at swim times in general for longer distance races, people are not good swimmers. They're pretty slow. I'm going to talk long course, but the same concept applies if you're doing short course. Okay, and the way that this applies is your skills have to match your goals. Okay, so if you want to qualify for Kona, if you want to be competitive at the national championships, short course, um, draft legal, non-draft legal, whatever the case is, your abilities have to match those goals. Okay, on top of that, I think that you are much better off, regardless of the distance that you're training, to be well rounded. Okay, and so that's great. It's a little bit harder to actually put into practice. And then yeah, I can be a good swimmer and I can be well rounded, but it's going to take 5 times a week. And should I do that? So, um, so a couple of things. Um, so back to, as you start thinking about this, how much should I swim? How much focus should I put into it? Should I pay somebody to help me, et cetera, et cetera? First of all, you want to be thinking about time management and making sure that we're not spending too much time there, because it does have a low kind of ROI, especially for long course in terms of how much time and energy put into it and how much time you get back in the race. But your skills need to match your goals. Okay? If you're a 120 swimmer in an Ironman and you want to qualify for Kona, I think there's a lot of low-hanging fruit there. You definitely have work to do, okay? Um, so there's a couple of theories on this. One is, look, it's not the key thing. The killer 1-2 punch in triathlon, especially long course, is a strong bike followed up by an even stronger run. Okay, everybody knows that. So work on that. There's a concept, there's a methodology that I think is kind of older now, where you don't swim in the winter. Take 3 months off. Don't swim. Don't bother going to the pool. And when time is short and daylight is short, use that time to just really focus on the bike and the run. And there's some validity to that. I've actually done that with some athletes and been quite successful. Skills need to match goals. The more recent time I did this with somebody, they're actually a pretty good swimmer for not swimming very much, very, very, very little time, and all they want to do is finish strong in their Ironman. So, and they said, I probably have time to swim once a week. I said, don't bother. This was just for the winter. The swimming got more consistent as we had more daylight hours. In summer months, work was a little bit less busy for them as well, and so then we could add in our time. The other thing that is, swimming does have a low ROI, return on investment. Okay? It doesn't mean that we can, I hope you guys can see that all right. It doesn't mean that you should just not do it. Because there's not only time, there's energy expenditure, there's having better fat metabolism, and that is so. Especially when we get to long course, I know people that have commonly crumbled on the run, and I think one of the big reasons is they're just putting out so much energy in the swim. So, um, you know, don't swim in the winter, right? So that can work, okay? The other reason as to why maybe you should swim in the winter is one, you're going to be better at anything with more consistency, okay? So consistency is key. I've talked about that all the time. And swimming is weather controlled, okay? So swimming, this is all swimming. It doesn't matter that it's cold and snowy out and gets dark at 5 o'clock at night. You're inside, or you're in an outdoor pool, even better, but it's lit up and it's temperature controlled. So that that kind of means that, why not? Why not swim in the wintertime? One of the things that you can do, and that I do a lot with my athletes, is we kind of know that, hey, swimming's weather controlled, and so let's not go overboard, especially with people that have weaker swims and we're trying to work on it. We don't necessarily schedule it right away, but when that weather gets bad, it's cold, the roads are bad, their work schedule, the trainer sessions at night get a little bit tiresome. Let's add in another swim. Let's do 4 swims this week because because the weather sucks. So instead of killing yourself on the trainer for 3 or 4 hours and driving yourself crazy, let's just do an hour and a half on the trainer, and then we'll get in a swim and we'll start working that weakness and building that weakness. So in terms of when should I swim and should I not swim in the winter, et cetera, et cetera. Do I really need to work on this? How much time do I want to should I put in? A couple things here. So, yes, swimming has a low ROI, but make sure your skills match your goals. Okay. I built a long time ago a triathlon threshold profile. It's on my website under tools, and it has threshold paces, watts per kilogram on the bike, pace per mile running, and pace per threshold pace yards and meters for swimming. And the way it works is if yours are all real close together across that swim, bike, run across that thing, then you're pretty well rounded. If your swim's down here and then your bike's up here and then your run's up here, then you're a really strong runner and not a good swimmer, or vice versa. It's not a perfect thing. I built it off of the Coggins power profile from many years ago. And I used a lot of data from other athletes, but that's something to check out. And the cool thing about that is it's comparing you to you, not you to your competition. So you can look at something like that and figure out how well-rounded you are compared to you and your other skills. And then you can go ahead and look at results, like where do you rank in a race? If you're being competitive, at the end of the day, it's important to look at you, the individual athlete, but you should look at, where are my, how much time am I losing? And so you can look at rank, but you should also look at time. I'm ranked 50th on the swim. Oh my God, I'm horrible, but you're only losing 90 seconds in an Ironman. That's not that bad, okay? So consider all those things. Now, how much should you swim per week? And what are you going to do? Let me check my time. What are you going to do when you're actually in there? Wow, 9 minutes. So if you're going to swim and be consistent, 2 times a week, I think is your minimum. Now, a lot of people will tell you, and they still tell me, that you can't get better swimming twice a week. You have to swim 3 times a week. I have improved many athletes only swimming twice a week. Some of which are actually already good, and they've gotten better, only swimming twice a week. This is a minimum, okay? But I think you can do a lot with it, okay? Again, I have some athletes who are quite good swimmers, top of their age group or top of their women's field or the men's field, and they've gotten up to that point twice a week. That's it. So that is a fact. Not to say that that's all you need to do, but something to think about. So what do you do in the swims, okay? If you're going to your swims by yourself with your special workout that you printed out, that you got off the special swim coaching page or your coach sent you, I have athletes do that, and that's fine. You can do that from time to time. But you've got to swim eyes on. Eyes on coaching. You've got to get hands-on coaching. You got to have people instructing you on your form and reminding you when your form falls apart to fix it. Stopping you at your 7th 100 when you were going to do 9 because you've fallen apart. Hey, we're going to start over and set up your stroke again. And then we're going to add the stress again. So I'm already giving you hints to the workout that we're going to do, how we're going to go about doing that. Okay, so you want the eyes-on coaching, okay? You want that hands-on coaching. And this is a lot of my remote athletes. I'm like, the first thing I say is, where can you get coached in the pool? We got to do it. And so get coaching. Join a master's group. Tell the coach that you're a triathlete, open water swimmer, okay? You don't want to do butterfly. You don't want to kick, all right? And help them just basics on technique and stroke. You need to be a better swimmer, all right? And the focus point that I'm always hashtagging and talking about in my swims. I write it down on the whiteboard at swim sometimes. I've written it. I've taken pictures of it a million times. Okay, swim better. Okay, scrap your hard workout with the fancy intervals. All right, definitely scrap your 8x200 with 5 seconds rest. It's not going to help you swim better. All right, swim better. You need a better stroke, and you need that stroke to last during your swim. Okay? You need durability of that stroke. So, we briefly talked about, I feel like this has been really fast, but we briefly talked about how and when to swim, how to schedule that in. Winter time, I'm a fan of being more consistent. There's some pros and cons to opening up time with not swimming in the wintertime, but swimming is weather controlled and it's easy to do year round. So in terms of how you're going to execute workouts, how you're going to make less swimming per week better is eyes on coaching, okay? Be focused when you go. Swim better. Have a technical focus when you swim, all right? And then lastly, I'll tell you is swim fresh. My marker's wearing out. Swim fresh. Okay? Do it as like your first workout of the day, or your first workout of the day, or your only workout of the day, heaven forbid. Okay? Swim fresh, all right? Be focused. Be physically ready to go. If you're doing it in the morning, I did a little video on Infinite Nutrition and how my athletes use it. One of the ways they use it is for swims, early morning swims, where they don't want to eat a ton and they take a 300 or 400 calorie bottle and they can get that down, and it gives them enough energy to get through the swim first thing in the morning when you're a little bit depleted. So, try to swim fresh when you can be a little bit more focused. Okay. Next time I'm going to go over one particular workout, and it has a lot of there's a million variations you can do for it, but it's kind of one way of swimming that I've, with relatively little swim coaching experience in myself since 2013. I don't know how many years that is, but I've had a lot of success. I've had a lot of success with it, and I've changed things a little bit over the years. And what I've found works is this is one key thing that I'm going to show you guys next time, and it works really, really well. So I think this is a long one, even though it didn't feel like it for me. But there you go with some stuff. Swim fresh, 2 times a week minimum. I have a lot of success with that. Eyes on coaching. You got to help. You need help getting better at swimming. Swim better. Okay, your technique needs to be better, and swim fresh. Okay, don't always be there tired. Remember, I've talked about this before. Always doing something one time, one way, all the time, it's not going to be good for you. So mix it up. Do some fresh swimming. See you soon. Thanks for tuning in.